What is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be starting a brand new series, my first series, a really stupid series probably to start as my first one ever, because it's apparently going to be one of the longest mod packs ever in the history of the world. And that, of course, is Gregtech New Horizons. So I found out about this mod pack about a couple months ago in September, and I think I mentioned in the video, but it's kind of been blowing up recently. I don't know what's been going on, but there have been streamers, YouTubers, all sorts of people playing this mod pack recently. So I don't know if I just got lucky with the timing, or maybe if I just fell into the algorithm like everybody else and this was supposed to happen. Anyways, here we are. So, with that being said, I just wanted to make a little intro video here to give you guys a little bit of context coming into these first videos. So, as I'm recording this right now, I'm about 45 hours into the run. I basically just recorded everything. I didn't stream it, but I used OBS to record all the footage that I had, every minute, every moment AFK. So I'm just going to start going through that, recording myself, and hopefully after I get through what I have now, and if I, choose to keep doing this. Maybe if I get 2 views, maybe 3 views, that'd be nice, and I get the motivation to keep going. I'm gonna go ahead and get to some live stuff. Maybe start streaming a little bit more so you guys can catch me there. I might keep all the raw footage and upload that somewhere else, just because I know this is kind of a mod pack that if you don't follow along, you can get lost pretty easily. You hop in somewhere if I'm in high voltage, all of a sudden you have no clue what's going on. But also, it's something that while you're playing along yourself, it's nice to, at like 1.5, 1.25 speed, just have raw footage of people playing this on their own as well, so you can kind of, get some tips and figure some things out. That being said, I am a completely noob to this mod pack. I am basically learning everything from scratch. I even had to figure out what Tinker's construct was because I've never used that mod before. I've done some all the mods before, but I'm not too familiar with modded Minecraft, so this is really a new experience for me. That being said, I don't want to talk your guys' ear off forever, but it's just a little bit of context going into this video. Again, I hope you guys enjoy. I think I say that again, but this is going to be just a kind of a short video, just a day one, just to get a video out there and get things going. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, here we go. Let's get this going. What is going on here? This is a weird way to start this. Guess it's loading in the world. All right, here we go. All right, it's starting to load up here. Again, like I mentioned in the little intro that I made, this is going to be a little pre-recording for most of these first few episodes, but I just got to kind of figure things out. I can start streaming easily. I've just chosen to record it all just because I feel like there's a lot going on. This is a very overwhelming mod pack. That being said, I am so excited to get going. I found out about this mod pack in mid-September, and I feel like weirdly enough, it's sort of blown up since then. I've seen some big YouTubers like or streamers like Giant Waffle and other big YouTubers. Threefold is the series I've been watching, recently to get my knowledge and also joining the Discord. But it seems like Gregtech has really popped off in the past couple months. That being said, from everything I've learned from the Discords, the people I've talked to, and the YouTube videos I've watched, and this being my first attempt at sort of a full YouTube series, I'm going to set some realistic expectations, not being the end of the mod pack, the Stargate. I'm going to hope that I get to the moon, build myself a rocket, get to the moon, whatever that means. Now, that being said, I don't really know what that even means. Obviously, I understand that we have to build a rocket to get to the moon, but I don't really understand this mod pack yet, so I don't know what that fully entails. But that's what we're here to find out, hopefully. That being said, I do want to thank you all for watching, and hopefully you enjoy this series with me and this journey, and we'll see how far we can make it into Gregtech New Horizons. Now, this was not my first ever Gregtech world. I had tried a few seeds before this, got a couple hours in, and then a couple of the worlds got corrupted, and then a couple of them I didn't like, so I wanted to restart because there were a few things that I was looking for. The first and most important thing I was looking for was a biome that had at least 80% humidity. That's what everyone told me to do because it would help me generate a lot of water and deal with the fact that in Gregtech there actually is not infinite water, so you can't just make a 2 by 2 square, which makes things a lot more difficult. I lied. The humidity is not the most important thing. The most important thing on day 1 is getting a bed. Unfortunately, that's not so easy. All the recipes in Gregtech are changed. They're all much more challenging to make. They require a lot more items, a lot of new items that I've never even seen before. So it's not so easy to make a bed. That being said, there's a couple things we have to do first in the limited time we have in day 1, and that is to collect a couple different resources so we can get through some quests in the quest book. To complete quests in the quest book, you have to make sure that you complete all the prerequisite quests they have before so that you unlock the rewards for that quest. That being said, to get all the way to the bed in day one is pretty much impossible. But we're going to try to get at least all the way up to the crafting table quest just so we can get a few things unlocked. Again, it's really important to finish these quests in order so that you get the rewards and complete the actual quest itself. You get a lot of cool rewards from these quests. Some are really helpful items, some are random loot bags, and some are coins that we can actually use to trade in for other items that'll be helpful later on. Another important aspect of Gregtech New Horizons we're going to have to deal with is going to be the food system. So the food in Gregtech works a little bit differently than it does in vanilla Minecraft. It's a lot more tedious. You have to eat a lot more things, but we can also make a lot more cool different types of food with a couple new mods that we have in this mod pack. But basically, long story short, we're going to be eating a lot of berries and random vegetables to start before we can make some complex foods. All right, after finishing up collecting some wood, it's about 4:40 in the afternoon, so we have about 2 hours until the sun sets here, and we're about to make that bed. Like I said, I did a couple other worlds before this, so I had a couple run-throughs, and I was pretty fresh in my head on how to get this bed done. And I really wanted to just make sure I didn't have to sit there through the first night. But we can go ahead and see here, finishing up that bed. Boom, soft mallet in there is the last piece, and now we have our bed, and we're ready to sleep through the first night. Pretty funny that you get a sense of reward after making a bed, aka your first accomplishment in Gregtech, but that just tells you how tough this mod pack is going to be. But boom, there we go. Day one in the books. We got a bed, we slept through. Now we can go ahead and take this next full day, explore, figure out what we want to do, and where we want to set up camp. Alright guys, thank you again for watching. I know this video is really short, but this was just going to be day one, and it's pretty late. I was basically just checking to make sure I could upload this with no problems and everything worked out great, and just get a little intro video out for you guys. Again, really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch, and hopefully you guys stick around for the whole series. We'll see if we can make it to the moon.